We got to break down the national championship game, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, I'm your host, Gary Seegers, at GaryWCE on all the different socials. This is Winning Cures Everything. It is a college football podcast. Hopefully, everybody has had a wonderful, holiday. I guess it's still technically considered a holiday. It's a Happy New Year. Cheers to 2025. But we have got one game left in the college football season. So I figured I would wait until the Friday before the national championship game on Monday, January 20th. It is inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It is Ohio State, the Buckeyes, going up against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And this one, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's go on and bring up the stats here. Ohio State currently is favored by, I'm seeing an 8. I see some 8.5s. I see 9s out there as well. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's see. At the biggest book in the market, we have got Ohio State favored by 8.5 with a total of 46.5. So that total has gone up a little bit. What an interesting game. What an interesting game. We could get into all sorts of different things on this. My number has Ohio State favored by 6.7 based on full season and power ratings. My spread based on the last 4 weeks, which is really just the last 4 games, it's got Ohio State favored by 4. Notre Dame is dealing with injuries, and they're banged up and all this good stuff. But I will go ahead and tell you, I do not believe that they are talented enough to deal with Ohio State. But we'll look at the numbers. Why not check it out? 247 Talent Composite has got Ohio State number 3, Notre Dame number 10. Ohio State an advantage in special teams, an advantage in penalties per game. They are not quite as good in turnover margin. They're equal in giveaways per game. Notre Dame number 26, averaging 1 giveaway per game. Ohio State is the exact same. But as far as takeaways, Ohio State does not take the ball away very often. They are number 83 in takeaways per game. So those are the intangibles. We got that kind of stuff out of the way. Now let's just break down overall numbers. First off, Notre Dame likes to play man a lot in their secondary. I don't know if you can do that against Jeremiah Smith and Igbuka and Tate, etc. Very curious. You know, the tight end, I believe Scott is the guy for Ohio State. I don't think you're going to be able to just do man-to-man on this. And if you do man-to-man, you should be able to stop Ohio State's rushing offense, which is number 8 in PPA per rush. Notre Dame is number 48. That's a problem. Yards per rush, Notre Dame number 28 in yards allowed. Ohio State is only number 29 in yards per rush. Now, obviously, Ohio State has their own offensive line issues. Notre Dame also has offensive line issues. But Notre Dame is dealing with, Mills being out on defensive line, et cetera. Cross is kind of banged up. There's some issues there. Ohio State does not have the issues on their defensive line, but we'll get to that side of the ball. Right now, it's Ohio State's offense that we're talking about. Number 1 in PPA per pass, going up against number 1 in PPA allowed per pass with Notre Dame. Pass rate, teams only throw the ball 48% of the time on Notre Dame. Ohio State throws the ball about 51% of the time. Ohio State number 16 in passing success rate. They're number 33 in passing explosiveness. Notre Dame is number 1 in both of those. Ohio State number 3 in QBR. Notre Dame number 1 in QBR allowed. You look at passing downs in known passing situations. Ohio State number 6 in predicted points added. That's passing downs PPA. Notre Dame is number 5. So yeah. It would seem that Notre Dame would be well equipped to deal with what Ohio State is throwing at them. As far as PPA per rush, I already talked about that, but Ohio State, number 19 in rushing success rate. Notre Dame is number 68 in rushing success allowed. Ohio State might actually have an advantage running the football. I think they have an advantage everywhere on offense. But numbers might not tell you that. Number 1 in offensive PPA per drive. Number 2 in offensive PPA per drive. Notre Dame's defense is number 2. They are number 2 in defensive PPA per play. Ohio State is number 1 in that. So very, very interesting. Now we move to the other side of the ball. Notre Dame, number 53 in predicted points added per pass. They're number 7 in predicted points added per rush. Ohio State's defense is number 5 and number 4 in those metrics, respectively. This is, it's a good matchup. Really, when you look at it, you look at overall efficiency, 5 factors plus talent rank has got Notre Dame number 2. It's got Ohio State number 1. If you take out the talent and you're just looking at the 5 factors, that is efficiency, explosiveness, field position, turnovers, and finishing drives, then Ohio State is number 2. Notre Dame is number 1 in the country. Pretty wild when you really break it down. The against the spread record for these two teams, Notre Dame was they were 10-2 against the spread in the regular season. Ohio State was just 6-6, but of course some of those Ohio State numbers were outrageous. When you're favored by 3-4 touchdowns regularly, it's kind of tough to cover those numbers sometimes. So, available yards margin, Ohio State's got the edge here. Notre Dame is number 6 in that. Ohio State is number 1. You're looking at success rate. Notre Dame number 28 in offensive success rate. Ohio State's defense is number 7. Ohio State's offense is number 3 in offensive success rate. Notre Dame's defense is number 10. So every which way you look at it, success rate, explosiveness, etc., Ohio State is the better overall team. And that's where it gets tricky because Notre Dame have performed well as an underdog, as a favorite, as everything, right? When Marcus Freeman has more than a week to prepare for a game, he is 12-0 against the spread, averaging covering those games by 14.4 points per game. So this is like the prime spot. The whole country is on Notre Dame. It is just, let's take a look at Action Network. Let's just see what they've got as far as the picks are concerned and which direction people are leaning. So the experts are all over Ohio State on this. When you start diving into let's look at the odds. Probably should have had this prepped, but regardless, we're all hanging out here. Why not? There we go. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Yeah, we're looking at like 60% of the people on Notre Dame. All right, so public betting at Action Network has got 48% on Notre Dame. You go look at Vegas Insider, some of the others, and you're looking at more than 60% of the people on Notre Dame because it's more than a field goal. But if you look back over the past 6 CFP national title games, the average margin of victory is well over 2 touchdowns. You don't get a lot of close national title games. Let's see if maybe we can pull that up. But yeah, yes, Notre Dame got here, but I don't believe that they are equipped to be able to deal with this version of Ohio State. I think it's just a really, really bad matchup. Let's see. All right. Looking at championship games, Michigan beat Washington last year 34-13. Georgia beat TCU 35-17. Georgia beat Alabama 33-18. Alabama beat Ohio State 52-24. LSU 42-25. Clemson 44-16. Now before that, you had a run of 3 straight really good championship games. Bama Clemson 45-40. Bama Clemson 35-31. Bama Georgia 26-23. But since 2019, it has been a blowout in this game every single season. Yeah, I'm going with Ohio State. I think they are the significantly better team. They are the more talented team. They are the less injured team, the more healthy team, I think would be the proper way to say it. I think that is the best possible spot here. So, give me Ohio State to cover whatever the number is, anything under 10, and I'll feel pretty good about it. Pretty good about it. All right, that is going to wrap things up for today's show. Short one, but sweet, to the point. I know exactly what you guys want. You want Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State and Notre Dame numbers. But I hope it's not Michigan playing. Otherwise, that Ohio State bet's not going to go well. All right, that'll wrap it up. Follow me on all the different places that you need to. At Gary WCE on X is the best spot to find me as well. WinningCuresEverything.com, BettingCFB.com if you want to be a member. It helps support the channel. $5 a month, $50 for the year over there. And even after this game gets done, that's not going to matter because we're still going to be here. We're going through prepping for next year already. It's going to be a good time. Going to be a good time. All right, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. God bless college football, and hopefully all of your tickets cash this week. Thanks for listening to Winning Cures Everything. Make sure and follow me on Twitter at GaryWCE. If you want to toss in a question, you can email me, Gary@winningcureseverything.com. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.